Hi everyone, thanks for coming back to part 2 of finishing up the Halloween tree, my very first one. We're just going to dive right into it and paint some ornaments. So today's video is going to be all voiceover because I recorded a lot and it was so much for you guys to have to watch through. So I'm taking these glass ornaments and some acrylic paints that I have. I take off the silver top and make sure that I take that out because it's much easier to manage, and I also have to put the ribbon on while they're drying, so we'll see that a little later. As you can see, I have the supplies, the acrylic paints, sorted colors, my plan, and a place to put all my paints and some brushes. So we're going to start off with the first design, the moon skylight. So you're going to notice that it's going to jump back and forth because I do wait and paint other things while it's drying. So we're going to start off with the basic black overcoat and just getting some color onto the ornament. And we paint. And as you can see, I try an interesting technique of trying to make a skyline. Remember, I am not an artist. I'm just a fun craft person. So I'm actually just trying to figure out putting lines to make buildings. So kind of like the height of the building, and then you could just connect them to make rectangles for the skyline design. So now I am taking the brush and just horizontally going across the skyline, brushing it down and painting in with the rest of the black paint all around in a circle. And I noticed doing this, I did end up getting some paint on my thumb on my left hand. So my suggestion next time, if I were to do this kind of pattern or design, is to wait off on painting the very bottom of the ornament, or just don't paint it at all. We don't need to overpaint things. So it will be painted. And sometimes I will apologize in advance. I do go out of frame sometimes because I have to get closer to the subject that I am painting. And so I leave it to dry. I come back. You'll notice some previews of the next designs. But I come back and you'll notice that I am painting in some details for the moon using a nice basic yellow, pastel yellow. And it's like trying to make a moon. I have to think about it of making two little C's and just filling them in. And then I create windows by putting dashes across. And hopefully you could see it. Again, I apologize in advance for being out of frame. It's because my head is all the way down towards there and the camera's more of the center of the table. But you kind of get the idea of me just putting little dashes to make little glowing windows, and then I let that out to dry. So the next design we're going to be doing is the witch's cauldron. So I take a thinner brush and dip into the black paint, and we're going to dive right into making the shape. I call it like a little U with a hat and legs. So I create the line first, and then I draw the U, and then I just paint it in with black paint. And you can keep doing this until you get the right proportions, or making it bigger, smaller. Well, you can't make it smaller, you can't paint away, but you can make it more round. And I tried making the witch's cauldron look cool, so hopefully it looks cool, as you can see in the future. Hopefully, I think. Actually, it's one of my favorite ornaments that I made. So you continue, you paint it, you make the little stubby legs, and now it looks like a cauldron. And you continue doing that. I let that dry. I get my green because that's going to be the slimy potion of the cauldron, and then I put some white, and you'll see in a little bit of why. So I just want to oil and boil the bubbles all the way to the top into the top of the ornament. And then I just overspill a little bit of my potion, and I don't know what I'm doing to the camera. I'm zooming it in so you could see. So you can see the bubbles, and then you don't see the bubbles, and then you see the bubbles and you don't see the bubbles. Now you can see the bubbles. perfect. So you just put little dots. They're not perfect. They're not perfect bubbles. But no bubble is perfect. Right? Amazing. I clean my brush in between. I get my little thinner brush. Try to clean as much of it off so I could touch up on the black paint of the cauldron. Next will be my attempt to try to make highlights, you see. So I will be taking the white paint and just putting highlights on the cauldron and on the bubbles that are boiling out of the cauldron. And I, again, take the white and just put little dots to make it like the highlight of the cauldron hitting. And I mix it with a little gray because the white was a little too reflective, kind of looked cartoony, so I darkened it so it looks more of a highlight rather than just a white speck on the cauldron. But the white stayed on the bubbles. So after this I was like, you know what? I need to fill this with my favorite thing, and that is glitter. I have this beautiful purple holographic glitter. It looks great with the green, and it has green flecks in it as well. And of course, whenever you take the funnel out, be sure you took out all the glitter on the inside, because it will end up going everywhere. Because guess what? Glitter is your best friend, and it'll stay with you forever. So I shake it into the ornament, and we shake, 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 Shinora, and now it's a beautiful cauldron with a nice hollowy background. This next ornament, I wanted to try to do some things with washi tape. If anybody out there does not want to spend the time painting like I did because I had to do other things while I was waiting for each coat to dry, I used thin washi, all different kinds of designs, mainly Halloween-y designs, of course, and you'll see me start from the top of it, and then I ring around the rosy and go right back to the top with it as I spin it around, snap, and now you can have more or less, however you want. It's a nice decorative touch when it comes to the washi tape. I was actually really excited when I figured this out, because I actually wanted to go horizontally with a thicker washi as designated to the plan on my right, and we talked about it in part 1. I realized that it just did not look peachy keen. So figuring out of going vertically up and down versus horizontally with washi tape on a ornament is the bee's knees. So I actually did 4 types of washi tape, and it came out really nice. Kind of gives me like a Jack Skellington chic off white feel. And of course, what would be an ornament without some glitter? Take my trusty little rusty funnel, and I get the little holder, and we're actually going to mix 2 colors here, a beautiful black glitter and some orange glitter, and the struggle is real of trying to get it open. Okay, the panic sets in. I'm good, I'm safe, and now we pour glitter, 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 glitter. I should put little sounds of twinkling lights when the glitter falls. And we go into orange. This one is such a dynamic, beautiful color, and it just pops. It just pops. Glitter, glitter, tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. I make my own sound effects. Who needs them? Okay. So I try not to get the glitter everywhere. I even do the little tap, 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 tap on the glass. Tap, tap. And then my favorite part, I get to shake up the ornament, and then I spread the glitter around. Shake, shake, shake. And it creates this really cool effect where it's like, is that ornament full of color or paint? No, it's just glitter. And of course, you have to get glitter on your hands. If you work with glitter and have never gotten on your hands, teach me your ways. This next ornament is one of my favorites as well, of course, because it's a kitty cat. So I first start with the basic black and outline the shape of the kitty cat head. So I start with the ears, go into the face, and then I do multiple coats for this until it's ready to draw the beautiful face. Or at least I hope it's beautiful. I tried. So here you'll see me go into the white to create the mouth and the whiskers of my kitty cat. Once all the layers dry, it looks like a happy little black cat, because sometimes black cats get a bad rap, and I want to put a little smiley face on this one. Now we're going to try with the whiskers. Instead of starting from the nose, we're actually going to start from the middle of the cheek and out with the black color, making sure that my brush is horizontal so they could be as thin as I can make them. And now I dip into the green. I will describe everything to you since you can't see them. But I dip into the green and I make 2 little ovals for the eyes right above the nose. Peekaboo. There it is. And then I go back in to deepen the color of the green because it was not popping through the black as much as I wanted it to. And I wipe off my brush, go back into the black to touch up the black. And I put some pupils, very thin vertical lines for the pupils. Once it's done drying, of course, I gotta have my glitter. So for this one, I actually put the purple and the black glitter together, and it came out super cute. I think the purple goes really well as a contrast to the green, and the black just kind of honed in on that. Next, we are going to be jumping right into trying to do some Garland. Now, I just kept thinking W's and waves all around. Didn't want to make them too sharp, mainly because this brush wouldn't let me, but that's okay because I'm not a pro and we're just having some fun together making ornaments. So we're gonna go, I should channel in my inner Bob Ross, and then we're just gonna make happy little U's. We're gonna make happy little U's across the ornament. And originally I wanted the pumpkin garland on there, and then I realized something. Making pumpkins look like pumpkins that small without small brushes or the talent is really hard. So you're gonna see the alternative choices I had to make. And then you make the final U and you let it dry, and then you attempt to do a pumpkin. You realize it looks like just a circle, and guess what? I'm not willing to wait between coats of orange. So guess what I decide to do? They're just going to be dots. Orange little lights. They remind me of the lights outside that we currently have that look like pumpkins. The beautiful pumpkins. See how quickly, once I start doing dots, I keep flying away. So I start doing the dots, and we are happy with my orange garland. Now, this ornament is probably the most easiest and probably the most fun for anybody below the age of 5 or me, because I got tired of painting. So as you can see, I decided to do one of those marbling tie-dye effects. So I put in orange, black, and white, and I just wait for it to drip on the sides. I put some more paint so that I could easily spread some more. You could also thin out the acrylic paint with some water, and it'll spread a little easier. My worry is that I wanted to keep the beautiful saturation of the color, and I felt that if I put water in it, it may make them a little too combined because they're able to just quickly congeal together. So I put some more paint. I'm trying to see what's a good amount, and I'm realizing that I need a lot more. So then I realize, let's use gravity to our advantage. So I start shaking it. Then you just play shake, shake, Shinora. shake your body right, too. And I continue to add until finally you get this really fun tie-dye. You can see the different patterns of where I poured it. That kind of looks like a face. And, ooh, I just passed the face again. Look at that. It looks like a side face, don't you think? It's kind of like one of those, what is that, Rorschach test? I don't know. Put it in the comments below if you know what the name of the test is. But that was one. So I decided to do another one, but with the colors purple and green. And that one came out super fun. I felt very witchy and ooh, that came out really nice. Sorry. Looking at my work, it's so wonderful. I'm just kidding, guys. So this is how this one came out. I put some more. I only worked with 2 colors, and I was very cautious with this one because I didn't want it to mix so much because they were a little bit of a thinner formula of the acrylic. So then I did the same thing, and I shook, boop. And there we have it, the beautiful combination of bright green and dark purple. Some slimy looking colors for Halloween. This next ornament, I'll be using the same technique, but I got an idea of using just one color. And guess what color that will be? Yes, you're right, it's orange. And I put the orange in there because I want to make a jack-o'-lantern. Mr. Jacko Lantern. So the easiest way, instead of having to paint and do several coats of acrylic paint on the glass ornament, I decide to shake Shinora the the paint inside to coat it. And that way I don't have to struggle bus the painting of all of those layers and waiting for it to dry, because at this point y'all know what time it is. It's probably like 11 o'clock when I did this, because that's when the creative juices are flowing, but also the need to sleep grows. And here we have it, the orange ball of joy. And we're getting some more black acrylic paint, and we're going to do a classic jack-o'-lantern, mainly because I like a throwback. So we're going to do the classic 2 triangles for eyes, a tiny triangle for nose, and of course our favorite square teeth. So we're going to start with the triangles, super simple stuff. Then we're going to go into the nose. In the end, we're going to start the teeth. So the way I do the teeth, I have to really think about it and focus and think about the negative spaces, right? So I outline the teeth. I start with the edge of the grin, and then I make my square, and then I make another square because I want him to have 2 little teeth up top, and I take it all the way to the next smile line, and I bring it down, and I want to make one more tooth right in the center of those, so I try to make another square situation, and then I close up that smile, and then I color that in. Paint, Shinora. And here's our good old friend Jacko Lantern. Classic, oldie but a goodie. Next, we're going to jump in on how I make the ribbon. And this is the easiest part for me when it comes to making these ornaments. So I just measure what kind of length I want. I don't really like measure. I kind of just eyeball it. And then I snip. And this is only for one, but what I do with that snipped end is actually I measure out how many I need, and then I would just pre-cut all of the ribbon. So I like the way it is here. I put it through to the loop, and I just take some awesome little glue dot situation tape and close it. Usually I used to use a hot glue gun, but then I realized that this does exactly the same thing, and it's really, really good. It stays, and I'm very impressed by that. So then you continue to do that. You take it back to put on your ball. You just pinch the ends of the little spring part, put it in, and you got your full ornament. Ta-da! Next, we're jumping into making the tip-top hat of our witchy vibes for our nice little mini tree. So I cut the circle with my circle maker. Then I cut a little hole into the center of the circle so that we could put it on top of the tree without it falling over. So this is very glittery cardstock. Beautiful, by the way. I love it. Got it for like 10 cents at Joann's because it's a single sheet of paper. And I cut the hole, and I don't like that it's just like a white bottom, so I just use washi tape to cover it up because it makes it more like designed and witchy and less like paper. And so I just use that washi tape, go across it. And I like using the spider design mainly because you can't tell when the washi tape ends or begins unless you look super duper duper closely. And I hope you don't, because it's not perfect. But then again, who is, right? Right. Okay, so I do all that, peel it back up, and then I just snippity snip all of which way around, do the merry-go-round of snip, 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 gone. Next, we jump into making another circle because we're going to make the cone for the top of the witch hat. You make a circle, you cut right to the center, and you just keep wrapping it up like an ice cream cone. Now, I will tell you, this was a struggle bus for me figuring it out around like 1 a.m. I started just blanking out on what glue is and what a cone is. So I've learned. It kind of looked kind of like, not stubby, but it did kind of look stubby for a witchy hat because of the brim being so large. But then I said to myself, that's okay. I'm just going to close this up, and my trusty, dusty little glue roller was not sticky to sticking. So because it was very strong cardstock. So my suggestion is to use hot glue. Okay, hot glue will make this work. Obviously, I didn't make it work with any of these things that you're about to see, but my camera died, and so I was like, I just need to make this hat. So I'm making a little hat ribbon, and it popped open. You saw that? It popped open because of the glue not being, existing. So you use the hot glue, wrap it up, and then you get it to look super nice. I got the cone to stay. Nope. See? Popped open again. Just went just like that cute little noise. Like that. So I was desperate, and I'm like, you know what? I need to go to get a paper clip. It was just a disaster, folks. So please, just use hot glue. This is a PSA brought to you by Blossoming Plants here on YouTube. Use your hot glue gun. And I won't bore you with the details. I won't see how many attempts. But your girl tried to use some regular school glue. And I was like, why don't I just use my hot glue gun? A crafter's best friend. So, you already know the story. Use a glue gun. Let's go look at the final masterpiece, shall we? So once you have a meltdown about the witch's hat that you just figured out hot glue is the answer to every single thing and every single problem in your life to glue everything together, you decorate your beautiful tree, you put the tip-tap hat on the very top, and then you bask in its glory. Well, there you have it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching the part 2 of my first Halloween mini tree. It was a lot of fun. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, have some fun with me, and don't forget to blossom your plans. Bye.